We are working with large media companies as well as programmatic sellers, right? So the SSPs and the exchanges, in order to, create an environment for our clients where we give them access to the highest quality inventory. And that comes in a multitude of flavors. We're working directly with publishers to strike arrangements on inventory that meet certain quality criteria, as well as the Group M viewability standard. And then we're constantly monitoring and scanning and evaluating the inventory that we're accessing for those clients to drive results. There are a number of digital-only media companies now, Vox, Verge, folks like that. But I would say there's been a big resurgence in interest among the kind of more traditional media companies that have finally figured out how to be involved in digital and actually appeal to the younger audience. And so we're finding that, especially in video inventory, the scale is gravitating to those brands that have a brand with consumers. And they sound more like traditional names than a digital name. But we also are seeing platforms emerge, Facebook, Snapchat, and the like, that are unique in how you access that inventory. And that creates a lot of dynamic conversations around how do you access that inventory, how does it become part of the fabric of a buy for a client to get kind of access to inventory and audiences regardless of where they're consuming content. Video is still primary. That's the interest of all of the brands that we work with. They want to be in that environment for sure. And they want to replicate, if you will, a TV experience in digital, if at all possible. That works in connected television, so that's a whole new set of technology that we have to interact with. Mobile definitely is an interesting environment. We're in the process still of really defining what the standard is in mobile. It's been the Wild West. It continues to fragment given the measurement limitations in mobile, which has been a huge challenge for a lot of companies in our position. But we're pushing the envelope as fast as we can. We launched a business last year, Light Reaction, to specifically address mobile. And then, the new inventory source is native, and we really see that effectively replacing display in the coming years. And so we're betting on that early and evaluating all of the players in the space, whether that's individual platforms that are catering specifically to native formats, integrating with publishers, or going directly to publishers that have their own native capabilities and content marketing capabilities. Outstream has been highly interesting, to say the least. We see a lot of opportunity in Outstream. The one challenge with Outstream has really been viewability. And given our standard within Group M, Outstream is much harder to transact on. So while there is a lot of Outstream inventory currently available in the market, that would be great for us from a scale perspective. We've had to work through the viewability concerns and working with vendors and partners to achieve the level of viewability required in order to make the brands happy. I think there are still a lot of risks out there. We took a very early position on fraud in conjunction with viewability. I've spent the better part of 2 years focusing on that issue. We've been very vocal about it. We have a very, very stringent policy on the types of inventory, how we access it, the audit process and the ongoing monitoring process. I feel very good about the inventory we're accessing for clients. We're benchmarking constantly against our, what I would call, privatized direct inventory versus the open market. We're constantly outperforming with regards to fraud and viewability. So clients accessing inventory via our filter, no problem. I think if you're going rogue and just using a DSP blindly and buying inventory, you're going to be susceptible. And there's definitely still challenges out there. Good news is Google announcement, other DSPs starting to apply filters, AppNexus's announcement last year and the technology that they've put in place. I think slowly it's being eradicated, but there are always bad actors. You always have to keep your eye out. It's just like in credit cards, right? There's always going to be 2 to 3% fraud, and you have to learn to manage it. Hopefully we get to 2 to 3%. I'm not sure we're still there yet. Clearly our clients are engaging with customers in mobile. They're transacting more and more. All the retailers, that we work with, the auto brands, everyone is got their eyes centered there. So we're very much enabling creative executions. We're enabling our audience to transcend desktop and mobile and find that audience wherever they are and deliver a result for the client.
And this cross-screen buy, we hear a lot about it, there's a lot of talk. Where does that stand from your point of view?
We're doing it. It's early because there are lots of challenges to create a cohesive identifier, right, across every single platform. When you think about the walled gardens, you have to find ways to synchronize with them in addition to, it's not just desktop and mobile, it's like each individual application within mobile. So we're fortunate that we have a lot of scale, we have a lot of partners, we're building quite a bit of device graph, if you will, which is helping us, but we're not where we want to be, but it's building nicely and we're executing buys. I think about transparency in a couple ways. The publisher, they want to know what we're willing to pay them, and we set that standard effectively because we're normalizing the inventory across all of our clients. And they understand that we're buying an audience, we're not buying their brand, we're not buying a specific placement, so the value exchange is quite a bit different. So that's on the publisher side. They're happy to take the money, right? On the advertiser side of the equation, I think it comes down to value. And we're we obviously charge them a fee on a CPM basis or on an outcome basis, depending on the brand that we're operating under. And they have to rationalize that with a ROI. And so if we're meeting or beating the benchmark, which is another media company, then absolutely great. We're valued and evaluated just like any other media company. So when a client is buying from Facebook, do they ask them how the sausage is made and what goes into their CPM? When they're buying from, CNN or New York Times, do they ask them how much their editorial staff costs? No, of course not. And so we very much positioned the business that way from day one, and we continue to do so, and we're adding data, technology, expertise, optimization, on and on in order to deliver, a positive result for the client. And I don't know how a client can argue with that if we're giving them a better, more efficient buy than what they would get if they went direct to a publisher or worked through a transparent fee model.